What's happening, my fellow graphic designer friends? My name is Steve Looney from GraphicDesignerTips.com, and in today's episode of the Graphic Design Layout of the Day, I'm going to be speaking about this postcard that came in the mail earlier this week, and it's for Planet Fitness. It's a two-sided postcard. We've all heard of them before, and what's very interesting about this postcard, what you can learn in it to use in your next graphic design layout, is what they did with the typography, because there's really no images on this postcard. So let's jump into the front side first. All right, so on the front side of the postcard, there is one image in the background, and it's an image, if you can kind of tell, it's of gears because their logo is that gear. And it actually looks like it has like a bokeh, B-O-K-E-H type of effect on it, which there's many tutorials on the internet to do that. But what I wanted to talk about, like I said, was the typography. And I don't love this piece, but I like what they did. And it's just, there's always something to learn from every piece of graphic design out there. So the first thing I want to start with is just talking about their logo real quick, and the fact that their symbol is made up of a gear, and for whatever moving forward, prospering, whatever meaning that has. But they have the colors of and this is my scan, so it's going to look a little bit different to you guys as opposed to what it really is. But you're going to see that yellow in the hand that comes out of the logo, and then that purple color, and the black. And somebody was smart enough to say, hey, these are the three colors we're using in our brand, so why not let's use them through our piece. So that's what they did by using black, this purple right here, and the yellow tints in the background. So I get tons of emails by people that just say, what colors do I choose for layouts? And the first thing I always ask them is, I say, does your client have a logo already? Does your client have branding? Because if they do, most of the times they're going to want to stick with those types of colors. So the next thing is I want to talk about the font itself. The font is a blocky font. It is a serif font. So these are technically serifs that come off. And the font actually matches the gears on this logo, if you really think about it. Now, they use that throughout basically all the fonts. Now, on the other side of the piece, and right here on the bottom, I know I'm jumping down here. I'll get back to here in a second, but they use a second font. So you're using two fonts in a design layout. You're using the complex font, and then you're using this simple font for certain things. And you'll see on the other side, they use that simple font much more. It's either a Helvetica or like a Myriad Pro, or an Arial even sometimes. So basically everything is pretty lined up, going down the left edge all the way down to Saturday. If you notice, well, actually, I'll say that in a second when I get to the bottom, but this is all going to be flush left pretty much right here if a rule was pulled up. And it's saying 1 day only is what I see first when I look at the actual postcard. And then I see $1 down, $10 a month. So the brain is going from the biggest font and color and sticking with that one thought, and then going down to back up to the top to $1 down, $10 a month. Now, I would love to hear in the comments your thoughts on certain things throughout this whole piece as I go through it, but there are also things about this piece that I do not like. I do not like, this is little minuscule things right here. The spacing in between the O and the 1, I feel like it's too much compared to this, and the letters down here. Join online. Shouldn't online be one word? I don't know if there should be a dash in the middle of it, but online I think should be one word. I think that's an issue right there. But I'm not here to bash it, although, that is a part of learning, of course. I like what they did. Membership includes unlimited fitness training in a very small font that basically holds this whole piece up. It kind of fills this little area right here. And then join online, and then their, obviously, their locations and their domain name. Now, when you get to the bottom, what they did here was they designed the whole piece, and then they took a black box, and they had the black go to a gradient from black to probably black again, but then they turned that part of the gradient as to a 0% opacity. I do a lot of that in my graphic design layout series, so go check that out. But that's what they basically did there, and then did a transparency on it, probably have like a multiply or a screen or an overlay. But anyway, Saturday, March 1st is the date here. It's pretty much centered in here, although it stinks when you have like a Y or a G, that it actually throws off the alignment, because you see this little area right here, it makes everything else look like it's too high, but it's really not. It actually is centered. Then you have the little disclaimer down here, which is obviously you always want that to be small. On the backside, they're basically saying, why pay more? Why would you want to pay more? But they're using the same fonts, and they're using the same colors, and they broke it up a little bit in here just to break up the locations. But from the top, everything is is left justified, and everything lines up very good. The only thing I don't agree with is if you see the spacing right here, and everything lines up down the whole piece. Look at the spacing right here. It should match. And plus, you don't want your content to be, and I'm actually looking at the printed piece in my hand to see if I cropped it, but I didn't. You don't want the printed piece to be too close to the edge. You want at least like an 1/8 of an inch all the time to a 1/4 of an inch, which is crazy, margin. Meaning that far from the edge, because when they're ganging these up and they're cutting them, you want to make sure that it doesn't cut and make things look off-centered, especially with business cards, because they're so tiny. And a piece that's longer, you're not going to notice it right away. I will notice it right away, and most of you will too, but the normal human being isn't going to. But I like how they broke up this in the purple right here, and just because it's another thought, basically. Here's that online again. I could be right, I could be wrong, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But here, what they did was they made this black box right here, and they knocked it out in white and yellow. There's not many colors that you can knock out of white to look good, and these are two that knock out and look perfect. If you're a Long Island person, you're going to know that this little smiley face is from the Boardy Barn, which is a big place out here on the island to get crazy on Sundays. And like I said, everything's lined up. We have our social icons right here, which look much better on the actual printed piece. The very last thing that I almost forgot to mention was the fact that when I spoke about the fonts on the front, where we had the main font and then we had the subtext. This all in here is the subtext. It's a different font. It's more simple of a font. It's just for different thoughts to break up certain things. Like in a lot of pieces, you'll see like the big headline right here again, and then you'll see a disclaimer or a subhead in a totally different font. But the font is not another crazy font. It's a very simple text-based, legible, more legible font. So that's that. All right, so I hope you learned something in this video. Let me know in the comments below what you did learn that you're now able to use in another graphic design project of your own, what you didn't like, what you would have done differently, or whatever your thoughts if you just want to say hi. Hit the subscribe button above to subscribe to my channel. You'll get these quicker than anybody does in your email because you're a subscriber. And here's my email. If you have any really good graphic design layouts that you come across, send them to me and I will consider using them in a future video, because it's all about teaching and helping people learn the little things that I've learned along the way. And by doing this series, I'm always learning things too, so I learn certain things too, and it's great. So I'll see you for the next episode of the graphic design layout of the day. Have a great day. Peace.